What's up, y'all? It's T-Tar, and today we're looking at y'all's theories for the Indigo disc and whatever comes beyond. So let's do this. Heath met who? Yo, T-Tar, I have something to connect to your theory. I just watched your video. I do agree that we're all in a time loop, but like you said, there's one more person missing that could connect all this into one big time loop. So they're saying, what if the person Heath met with when he time traveled was actually the AI Sada and Turo? So this isn't too much different than him meeting the original professors, but it's at least cool because it gives both versions of the professors something cool they experienced, right? So the past ones, the humans, met us and got the white book paradox, and then the AIs actually met with Heath. And it'd be cool if the AIs met with Heath after the original professor passed away. So all Heath saw when he came to the future is he's standing beside the AI and they're both powerless and just watching all these paradox Pokemon traveling through because Heath's not strong enough to stop it. AI's programmed to not be able to stop it. And so you just get a cool cutscene of them conversing about this future, right? You gotta imagine if Heath went to Area Zero and wrote about all these paradox Pokemon, he was fascinated by them, so he'd want to see more of them too. So this would be a cool cutscene where both Heath and the AI are fascinated by the paradox Pokemon, but also realize how effed up it is too. But yeah, it's not much different whether he met the AIs or the professors. The real confusion here is wherever he got time displaced to, somehow he also saw Stellar Tropigus, and that can't make sense in any way we know. It's like this, right? If he got sent to the ancient past, and it's people from the past that gave him that paper, and that's where he saw Stellar Tropigus. The Stellar Tropigus part makes sense, but the ancient people giving him a paper of his own handwriting is super weird. No one knows how he could have seen Stellar Tropigus. Heath in the next Pokemon games and the Guardian. Hi, Teacher, I have a few ideas. The first one was there was an alternate Heath who was instead a theoretical physicist who wrote the pages. In the very original timeline, it is possible he was instead a theoretical physicist. It is in his handwriting, so he must have been a scientist at some point. Second idea is Heath meets with Stellar Tropigus in a later game. That's really weird, y'all. So imagine you get Legends Unova. So you're in the past, maybe like 500 years ago, so not quite the time of the twin heroes, but you're doing some crap where the original dragon comes back. But a side story that happens in that game is you finding a Tropigus, and somehow Heath, you get to witness the other side of Heath temporarily traveling to where you are, where both of you get to witness this other Tropigus. And so that's the stellar form he witnessed. And I guess he would have gotten the page from you. That would be cool if Pokemon solved his paradox with the future game. Explorer and Scientist? Hey, teacher, what if Heath was pulled by a time machine to another timeline instead, where he met himself? Oh my god, yo, that's kind of funny. We don't know if Tropigus can put you to a different timeline, but that would actually be a funny explanation. If he didn't meet AI Sada or Turo, or the Rio Sada and Turo, or ancient people, or Briar, that's another idea, but we'll say that in a second. But he met himself in an alternate parallel world where he was a scientist researching. So of course it's in his handwriting. The time loop paradox for Heath explained. Keep bringing them, baby. Hi, T-Tart. Love your content. You really made me appreciate the whole game a lot more than I would if I'd not followed your videos. So thank you for the greatness. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if y'all know, but unless I'm doing like these videos where I'm reading y'all's theories, like everything I do is pretty much original. I'm like researching stuff myself, playing through the games, and I'm trying to create new discussions for people. Because if you do go online, people are just like talking about like the same things until someone new introduces something to talk about. So I try to just ignore whatever they're talking about and be the one introducing new things. I literally seen Bulbapedia update its pages after I made my video on what the paradox Pokemon are, how the professors are contradicting each other. And that made me really happy because you didn't think one person thinking up ideas in his room could make this big a difference. But your boy's the supplier. But I got all kinds of fun ideas. Alright, I was watching a video on the explanation of Heath's exploration and the paradox it creates. I think I know how to explain the time loop that forms. I think the person he talks to is another Heath from another timeline. It's very weird to imagine, but imagine like... So... you had the most OP version of Heath. Instead of being a historian, with his curious mind, which is very powerful, also probably got him killed, but with that curious mind, he was investigating Tropigus scientifically. So, you know, he did the same exploration in Area Zero, but instead when he got to the Underdepths, he turned into Sada and Toro pretty much and started researching the heck out of that place until he actually found the hidden treasure himself. And so could you imagine that our Heath travels to his timeline, because what he's about to do is break everything. Like, he's about to release Stellar Tropigus and lose. So all Heath gets to do is temporarily sit there and watch as he ruins his whole universe because of Stellar Tropigus, and then he goes back to his own time safely. So he witnessed the destruction of a timeline. Fine, we'll say the destruction of the Earth, okay? Just to put it as simple as possible. And so he got a couple pages from a Heath that was about to witness the bad ending. Because the truth about Stellar Tropigus is, if you are not a trainer, and like a really good trainer, you can't stop that thing. The only ones who could have pulled this off, which is, it's so sad it never happened, is Sada and Toro. I don't know if y'all know, but if you go to Area Zero and you look around, you snoop, they have the Hall of Fame badge. They're champions. Oh, it also says in Uva Naranja, right? It says Sada and Toro. They're champion level trainers. So, and if they had their AI assisting them, they could have actually controlled Terrapagus. He just never, or she just never got that far. I kind of like that idea. That Heath just met a world that was about to be destroyed because of his own self. And he just escaped because he wasn't supposed to belong there. And so, of course, his interpretation of Stellar Tropigus is some weird, devastating planet floating through space. Yo, you know what's crazy? I think this is my favorite idea now. Let's Go Johto isn't coming. Alright, we're cooling down a bit. Hi teacher, I don't think we're getting Let's Go Johto games. The reason Kanto games are called Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is a spin-off of the idea that they're remakes of Pokemon Yellow, which is called Pokemon Pikachu in Japan. You know what? The fact that we don't even have a proper name for Let's Go Johto, like Let's Go Cyndaquil and Totodile, it's not like it's gonna be Let's Go Togepi and Pichu. So I could believe this. In fact, I'd be more hyped if it was called something nice, especially if they minimize some of the Pokemon Go features, but just make it compatible to transfer to them. Once you do that, they're pretty much normal remakes, like full remakes again. So you could just straight up give them like the same equivalent as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. What was it back in the day? Dusk Gold, Dawn Silver? You know, that's wild. If it was called Pokemon Dusk, Gold, and Dawn Silver, people would be actually pretty hyped for that. Just because of the name. Just because it doesn't say Let's Go in the name. Even though it'd be the exact same game. You know what? That would be I kind of hope it's called that. Fear for the next game announcement. Hey T-Tar, I've started to think that people might be disappointed and possibly angry when these next games are announced. Because so far the remake patterns are Gen 4 gave us Gen 2 remakes, Gen 6 gave us Gen 3, and then Gen 8 gave us Gen 4 remakes. So they're saying we'd probably have to wait until Gen 10 for Black and White remakes. You are right with this, but I wonder if this is actually intended by their part or if it's just a coincidence. Especially nowadays, Pokemon's releasing so much content, they probably don't mind doing Gen 5's remakes earlier. But yeah, they fear when February rolls around that it'll make everyone angry. Enough to drop a diss track? When's the last time I dropped a diss track? I'm about to diss someone right now. Where's a picture? Let's get a picture of Kieran. Alright, tell me who we should diss track next video. Make sure I shank that like button. Keep sending me y'all's theories, whether Paradox, Unova, Johto, anything that's fun to discuss. We're gonna figure out what's happening with Pokemon over these next few months. But yeah, make sure I shank that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.